Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Lesson number 5, exercise number 5 as well. Is it lesson number 5 or 4?
5.
Okay, excellent. So text of the lesson number 5, who is going to read the text? The first one, who is going to read? Alif has Hamza on it. So that means we will read it as how? Akmil, right? Akmil. So adkhil. And we have learned a lot of verbs on this pattern where you are making an order. So it starts with Hamza and Hamza has Fatha. And this is the only form of the verb that starts with Fatha. Akmilil. Okay, what will be the ending of Jumal?
Again, Fatha.
Okay, Akmalil Jumala al-Atiyati.
Jumal al-Atiyata,
Okay.
because it's Sifa. Bikalimatin munasibatin.
Okay.
وأضبطها بالشكل.
وضبطها بالشكل. Yes, so it's ضبط يضبط. This word has, we have used it many times. It means to vowelize, to put the proper vowel endings of the noun or the verb. So like we have the endings of the noun, similarly we have the endings of the verbs as well. So the verb is also marfu and it is also mansoob. However, the verb cannot be majroor. It will not be majroor. So as of now, we only need to remember that the verb can be marfu, it can be mansoob, but it cannot be majroor. And that applies to the present tense, not to the past tense. And the present tense, inshallah, we are going to start from tomorrow. So akmalil al-jumal al-atiyata, complete the following sentences bikalimatin munasibatin, by the appropriate words, wadbitha, and vowelize it and put the proper endings bishakli, in the proper form. So we have to complete the sentences, the following sentences, with the appropriate words, with using the proper case endings and with the proper form of the words as well. Man fataha. Okay, so who opened? Now we are going to use the object. So what will be the object?
Door, Al-Bab.
Al-Bab.
Al-Babu or Al-Baba?
Bab.
Al-Baba.
Man fataha al-Baba. Who opened the door? Why? Because the door cannot be the doer of the action. It will be the receiver of the action. Because
So it will always be Fataha.
yes, yani Fataha means he opened. So here he will be the subject. Fataha is the verb and the receiver of the action is object, which is al-baba. So man fataha al-baba. Okay, so please remember that the doer will only be, the file will only be marfu' when it is a person or it is the doer of the action. It is like aqil, yani. Aqil will be the doer. Aqil, who are the aqilin? If you remember, we talked about this. Of course, the human beings and the angels and the jinns, they are considered as aqilin. So most of the times, the doer will be aqil. Ghair aqil, there might be a possibility, but here we can see who opened the door. So we can assume that the door cannot be the doer of the action. In fact, it is the receiver of the action, so it will be man fataha al-baba. So man, who, fataha, opened. So fataha, he, and fataha is the verb, and the he that is hidden over there, that is the subject. Al-Baba is the object. Who opened the door? All right, number 2. Ukhti. So for Ukhti, what do you think?
Sakina, sir.
Okay, so complete the sentence, please.
غسلت أختي قميص
Okay.
قميص
Okay, so if you want to say only a shirt, so you will say قميصاً, because غسلت أختي is the subject, غسلت is the verb, and the object will be the shirt. So if you are using al, you will say غسلت أختي القميص with fatha. And if you want to say a shirt, then it will be غسلت أختي قميصاً. My sister washed a shirt. So who is the doer here?
أختي.
أختي, sir.
Yes, excellent. All right, number 3.
الرجل
الرجل الحي
حية
الحية بالأس
بالعصا. Okay. So what's the verb that you're going to use?
ضرب
Okay, ضرب, excellent. Or قتل, if you remember, like that's more appropriate. Like ضرب means he hit, that's fine. When he hit the snake, it maybe ran away. But if he was able to kill it, then we will say قتل الرجل الحية بالعصا. So قتل, the verb, الرجل, the subject, as we discussed, that the subject will always be, or most of the times it will be عاقل. So we can see here, الرجل is عاقل. الحية is mansub, which is the receiver of the action. بالعصا is jar majroor, by the stick or with the stick. Okay, number 4.
شرب يوسف القهوة.
Excellent. Shariba, verb. Yusufu, the subject, the doer. Al-qahwata, the object. Shariba Yusufu al-qahwata or Yusuf al-qahwata. Yusuf drank coffee. All right, number 5.
كتب المدرس الدرس على السبورة.
Excellent. كتب المدرس الدرس على السبورة. The teacher wrote the lesson on the board, on the writing board. Okay, so what will be the, can you please break it down, like the...
كتب he wrote the verb. المدرس فاعل.
مدرس wrote.
Okay.
الدرس مفعول به. The lesson على السبورة on the board. جار مجرور.
Okay. Yes, number 6.
أكل سعاد الخبز.
Okay, Su'ad is an Arabic, it's a feminine Arabic name. So that means it will be partially flexible. Akalat Su'ad al-khubza. Su'ad ate some bread, or Su'ad ate bread. So al-khubza is the object, and akalat is the subject. Su'ad is the doer of the action. Okay. Yes, number 7.
قراءة القرآن.
Again. Irfan again.
I made a mistake, sir.
It's okay, but I want you to say it again one more time.
قراءة القرآن.
No, Hamza is sakin. Hamza is sakina. Qara'tu al-Qur'ana.
قرأت.
Yes, Qara'tu al-Qur'ana. I read or I recited the Quran.
في المسجد.
في المسجد. If you remember, after the 5th verb, قرأ, قرأ, قرأوا, قرأت, قرأت, then the track changes, so it will be قرأنا. قرأت, قرأتما, قرأتم, قرأتي, قرأتما,
And what are the
قرأتنا.
root letters for this one?
قرأ is قاف, را, and Hamza.
Okay.
All right. So قرأت and قرأنا. All right. Number 8.
سمعت الأذان يا همزة.
Okay. سمعت الأذان يا حمزة. Okay. Now, why is ya Hamzatu?
Because he is the addressee.
Excellent. Normally, if you remember, we discussed that the names are normally the third person, right? For example, when we say Bilal, we say Ahmad, we say Bilal, Ahmad, and Muhammad. That means they are the third persons. We cannot see them. We are talking on behalf of them. But when you say Hamza, maybe the listener might be thinking that we are talking about the third person. But when you say Ya Hamzatu, that means you're talking to the mukhatab, the person who is in front of you. So that's why we use Ya for someone who is right in front of you. And when we say Ya Allah, Allah is Sami'un wa Basirun, so Allah is always listening and Allah is always hearing. So that's why Allah is all the time listening. So that's why we say Ya Allah. So we can say that for Allah Azza wa Jal, but like for the others, like the dead persons, we cannot say that because only Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has that ability. So, all right. So number 9.
9. فتحت التاجر الدكان.
Okay, adhan is alif has fatha. Okay, in Urdu, for someone who speak Urdu, we say adhan. So adhan basically Arabic means ears. Lahum adhanun. So it's ears. So in Arabic, the real word or the right word is adhan. Alif has fatha on it. So we will not say adhan. We will say adhan. Okay, yes, number 9. What is it? Fatahat tajiru
الدكان.
ad-dukkana. Okay. So fataha, verb, at-tajiru, subject, ad-dukkana is the object. Excellent. Number 10.
خرج الطلاب من الفصل.
All right. So kharajat tullabu min al-fasli. As we can see here, at-tullabu is the plural, but the verb that we are using only the singular verb, the first form of the verb, because the noun is masculine.
And kharaja does not need a maf'ul bih.
It does not need a maf'ul bihi as well. Okay, so dhahaba and kharaja, they don't need an object. Min al-fasli, we can say it's an object, but it is indirect object. It is not a direct object. So it's not maf'ul bihi. Okay, number 6. Now, okay, so how did you know that it's ij'al?
Because it does
Fail
not have
al-amr.
Hamza in on the alif, and that's why it's not from those verb family that starts
Family
with
of adkhil and akmil.
fatha.
Excellent. It's not from that family. Okay. So, but how would you know if you're going to put uj'il or ij'al or ij'ul? So how would you figure that out? You said ij'al, right?
From
Yes.
we see the groups are ja'ala like this.
Yes. So that's what, inshallah, tomorrow we are going to discuss about, like how the groups are made and how we make fi'l al-amr from these groups. Ij'al, excellent.
كل من الكلمات الآتية مفعولا به.
Yes.
وضبط
It is
آخرها.
Okay, excellent. So ij'al means to make, kullan, each one of them, min al-kalimati of the words, alatiyata, the following, maf'ulan bihi, the object or maf'ul bihi, wadabit, and vowelize or put the case endings, akhiraha, in the end. So what we have to do now, we have to make maf'ul bihi and we have to put the proper endings. All right, so al-Qur'anu. So you have to make al-Qur'anu as the object, not the subject. If we want to say, if you want to use al-Qur'anu as a subject, then it will be a verbal, it will be a nominal sentence. So we will say al-Qur'anu kitabuna, right? Quran is our book. Or we will say al-Qur'anu kitabullahi. So that will be a verbal sentence, nominal sentence. But verbal sentence, that means it should be the object, not the subject. All right, so can you make one sentence? Al-Quran as being the object.
Khalaq al-Quran.
Khalaq al-Quran. Excellent. He created Quran. Okay. Very good. Excellent. Okay, number 2. Al-Qahwatu.
شرب القهوة.
Sharib al-Qahwata. Excellent. He drank coffee. So when you say shariba, then he will be the subject and shariba will be the verb, and that will mustatir, yani the subject is hidden over there, which is he, and shariba is the verb and al-qahwata will be the object. If you want to say I drank coffee,
شربت القهوة.
okay, we drank coffee,
شربنا القهوة.
okay, she drank coffee,
شربت القهوة.
sharibat al-qahwata. Excellent. Okay, next one. At-tufahu means the apple.
أكلت تفاحة.
Akalat or akalat
She
tufaha.
ate.
Okay,
أكلت
she
التفاحة.
okay, she ate an apple. Akaltu at-tufaha. I ate an apple. Akal al-waladu or akal al-rajulu at-tufaha. The man ate an apple. Okay, al-babu.
فتح الباب.
He opened the door. Okay, if we want to say she opened the door,
فتحت
فتحت الباب.
فتحت الباب. Okay, she opened the door. Okay, ad-darsu.
كتب الدرس.
Okay, katabat or kataba. Both of them will be okay. Kataba ad-darsa, he wrote, and katabat, she wrote. Okay, the lesson. Okay. Next one, al-qamisu.
Wasala
وصلت.
al-qamisa.
Okay, how will you translate it?
He washed the
He
shirt.
washed the shirt. Okay. Okay, my mother washed the shirt.
Ghasalat ummi al-qamisa.
Al-qamisa, excellent. Ghasalat ummi al-qamisa. Excellent. Okay, now we have to reflect upon the following two examples. Ta'ammal al-mithalain al-atiyain. So ani, aini, aini, if you remember, that is the sound of the dual. Ani, aini, aini. It was basically mithalani wa atiyani. But because they are the receiver of the action, they are objects because of the fail al-amr, ta'ammal. Ta'ammal is also fail al-amr. So that's why both of them are mansoob. So it became al-mithalaini al-atiyaini. Okay. So here, at-tullabu dhahabu ila al-mal'abi. The students went to the playground. So at-tullabu dhahabu. Okay, why not dhahaba or dhahaba? Why dhahabu? That's my
Nominal
question to you.
sentence.
nominal sentence.
Okay, so if it's a nominal sentence, then what, Yani? Is this
Subject and the
is
predicate
it
should be
is it enough for a sentence to be nominal sentence and then we can say at-talabu dhahabu, or there is a reason behind that?
So action is
ذهبوا
the one
acts
only.
as a predicate.
All perform the single action.
No, I think that's the
ذهبوا
wrong.
is the predicate, and the subject and the predicate should be equal in number as well as gender.
Mubtada khabar sir.
Okay, mubtada khabar, but how dhahabu is predicate?
Because ذهبوا implies how should I say it?
Okay, if you remember, yes, okay.
ذهبوا هم ذهبوا.
Excellent. Basically, whom is the predicate. So at-talabu is the subject and whom is the predicate, and whom refers whom, yani at-talabu and whom, they are equal in number and gender. So whenever the verb comes as predicate, it comes as khabar. So we will say yes, we will say dhahabu ila al-malabi is the whole sentence is the khabar. However, the reason why it is khabar is because of the hidden pronoun that is inside dhahabu, that means whom, so that refers back to the at-tullabu. So at-tullabu is the subject, whom is the object, and dhahabu ila al-malabi, complete sentence, that's why it is the object. So did you get now the reason why it is at-tullabu dhahabu Okay, if I say at-talibani, then what will be the predicate?
ذهبا.
Dhahaba, because that means huma dhahaba. So huma basically refers to two. So that's why they are equal in number and gender. All right. And first we look at the nominal sentence, the nominal part, and then we will look at the verbal part. And here it says at-talibatu. Now I'm sure you can tell me why it is dhahabna. So why the predicate is dhahabna and why not dhahabat?
Hunna is a predicate, sir.
Yeah, hunna dhahabna ila al-maktabati. So basically hunna is the predicate. So at-talibatu is the subject and hunna is the predicate. However, dhahabna ila al-maktabati, the complete sentence, verbal sentence, it can come as predicate as well. So we will say the complete verbal sentence is the predicate. And for the verbal sentence, it is very simple. When we can see that the subject, the doer is apparent, then whether it is singular or dual or plural, we will only use it or we will only start it with the third form of the verb. The first form of the verb, this is the dhahaba. So for masculine, we will use dhahaba, and for feminine, we will use dhahabat. So dhahabat tulabu ila al-malabi, the students went to the playground. And for the feminine, we will use dhahabat at-talibatu ila al-maktabati. The students, the female or the lady students went to the library. Now, we know that when we connect sakin with al, we will connect it with kasra. So we will say, dhahabat at-talibatu ila al-maktabati. Okay, if I say one student went to the playground. So what will be the Arabic for that?
ذهب الطالب.
Okay, and if I want to say two students went to the playground.
ذهب الطالبان.
Okay, and the plural will be ذهب الطلاب إلى الملعب. Okay, now Irfan, you said ذهب الطالب وذهب الطالبان وذهب الطلاب. Why did you use only ذهب? Why not ذهب
Verbal
and
sentences,
ذهبوا?
all of them perform a same action.
Yes, all of them perform only one action, so that action will be only
Will be singular.
singular. Because if we say ذهبوا الطلاب, then they went, the students إلى الملعب, so it will be wrong. Grammatically, it will be wrong. We cannot say they went, the students went to the playground. So that's why the verb will be used, the first form of the verb, which is ذهب, will be used for the masculine. And the fourth form of the verb, which is ذهب, ذهبا, ذهبوا, ذهبت, the fourth form of the verb will be used for the feminine, whether the doer is singular or dual or plural. So this is the most beautiful rule of the verbal sentence. And it is used extensively in Arabic newspapers, even in the Quran, everywhere you will find it a lot. But the condition is the doer has to be zahir, the doer has to be apparent, and the doer must be marfu'. And we know that the doer is always marfu'. All right. Number 8, try your luck and see if you can read this one.
قدم الفعل في الجمل الآتية كما هو موضحها
موزع.
في المثال.
في المثال. Okay, yes, anyone else please, if you can just give it a go.
So, كما هو مودعي.
No, this is
في
ha.
المثال. Sorry?
It's ha. موضح.
I don't have glasses.
Oh, okay.
موضح.
Okay, so the first one is perfect. قدم means you bring forward, okay? Bring forward. And if you see, it's used a lot in the Quran as well. يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي. And he will say, I wish I had sent ahead some good for my life. يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه. So قدم means to send something forward. But when you make fi'l al-amr, when you say قدم, then you are asking someone to bring something forward. So قدم الفعل, you have to bring the fi'l, the verb in the beginning of the sentence.
There is tashdid, sir.
Yes,
And the
dal
dal.
has, yes, it has tashdid. قدم.
There's special group.
Yeah, it is the third one, inshallah. It's in the extended form of the verb, we say mazid fi.
أيوة.
So, and if you remember one example from the Quran, maybe Surah Naba or maybe from Surah Al-Fajr, يقول يا ليتني قدمت
قدمت
لحياتي.
لحياتي.
Okay, yes. So he will say, oh, I wish I had sent ahead. To send something ahead. Again, it's used a lot. So قدم الفعل. So you have to bring the verb forward. في الجمل الآتية, in the following sentences. كما, as, هو, it is, and it is referred to the fi'l. موضح. It is basically the same family as قدم. It was وضح يوضح, and موضح is on the pattern of فعل المفعول, the one who is receiving the action, as it is explained في المثال, in the example. So it will be read as موضح, موضح, as it is explained in the example. So what we have to do, yes.
Just like in Urdu, it's wazahat.
Exactly, that's right. Yes. So it's basically from there. So tawdih, we use the word like explains or to explain.
Finish.
So yes. So قدم الفعل في الجمل الآتية كما هو موضح في المثال. So we have to bring forward the verb in the following sentences as it is explained in the example. For example, look at the example. Al-awladu sharibu al-qahwata. We know that al-awladu, it's a nominal sentence, so that's why we have sharibu. But when you will make it a verbal sentence, then we will use the singular verb, which is shariba, and then we will use the subject, and then we will use the object. So sharibal awladu al-qahwata, and the boys drank coffee. Okay, so an-nasu sami'ul adhana. The people listened to the adhan.
Sami'a an-nasu.
Sami'a an-nasu al-adhana. Excellent. So sami'a. Only the first one will be the singular form of the verb, which is the first one on the pattern of fa'ala. So sami'a, dhahaba, and this one is a little bit different. This one, the second root letter has kasra, sami'a. Okay, Samil, what is it? Sami'a nasu al-adhana. Okay, number 3. At-tullabu katabul ajwibata. So the students wrote the answers. Okay, this is a correct sentence. This is not incorrect, right? But it is a nominal sentence, and we have to change the nominal sentence into verbal sentence.
كتب الطلاب الأجوبة.
Excellent. So kataba at-tullabu al-ajwibata. The students wrote the answers. At-talibatu dakhalna al-fasla. The students entered the classroom.
دخلت طالبات الفصل.
Excellent. دخلت الطالبات الفصل. Excellent. The students entered the classroom. So as we can see here, even in English, we say enter the classroom. We don't use into. Similarly, even Arabic here, دخلنا الفصل, the classroom is used as a direct object. There is no need to say إلى الفصل or to the classroom, min fasla. It's directly دخلنا الفصل. The students entered the classroom. Al-mudarrisuna kharaju min al-fusuli. The students went out of the classrooms.
Teachers went out of
the mudarrisun, the teachers, yes.
خرج المدرسون من الفصل.
خرج المدرسون من الفصول.
فصول.
Yes, the teachers left or went out of the classrooms. زملائي رجعوا من مكة. My friends or my colleagues came back from Makkah.
رجع
زملائي
من مكة.
من مكة. Excellent. رجع زملائي من مكة. My colleagues or my friends came back from Makkah. How would you read it? إخوتي or أخواتي, or like how?
أخواتي.
أخواتي. How do we say that? We have to use or read the fatha in the beginning.
The Hamza
indicates that it will be read as fatha. أخواتي, my sisters. غسلنا القمصان, my sisters washed the shirts. qamis, and the plural is qumsan.
Okay.
Okay.
أيوة.
غسلت
غسلت أخواتي القمصان.
القمصانة. Okay. غسلت أخواتي القمصانة. My sisters washed the shirts. التجار فتحوا الدكاكين. The merchants opened the shops.
فتح
التجار فتح
الدكاكين.
التجار
Okay.
الدكاكين.
فتح التجار الدكاكين. Okay. The merchants opened the shops. الطبيبات ذهبن إلى المستشفى. The doctors, the lady doctors went to the hospital.
ذهبت
ذهبت
الطبيبات
الطبيبات
إلى
إلى
المستشفى.
المستشفى. Excellent. So the lady doctors went to the hospital. الطلاب فهموا الدرس. The students understood, the male students understood the lesson.
فهمت الطلاب الدرس.
الدرس. Excellent. So فهم الطلاب الدرس. The students understood the lesson. تأمل الأمثلة الآتية. Now we have to reflect upon the following examples. So خرج الطلاب وذهبوا. The same thing we talked about before. The students left and they went out. So خرج الطلاب, this part is the verbal sentence, but when we say الطلاب ذهبوا, then it will be the nominal sentence. Or we can say this ذهبوا returns back to الطلاب. It basically means hum ذهبوا. So when we start a sentence, the verbal sentence, it starts with the singular form of the verb for masculine, and the fourth form of the verb is for the feminine. قرأ الطلاب كتبوا. The students read and they wrote. أكل الناس وشربوا. So the people, they ate and drank. And you can see here, kharaja has the root letters that are called as sahih root letters. Sahih root letters are those that do not have hamza, or they do not have tashdid, or they do not have the weak letters like alif, waw, or ya. So the root letters, they are the ones that do not have hamza or tashdid or alif, waw, or ya, we call them sahih. And the ones that have hamza or alif or ya or tashdid, we call them ghair sahih. And further, the one that has hamza in the root letters, we call it mahmuz. What do we call it? Mahmuz, the one that has hamza in it. So the hamza can come in the beginning of the verb, it can come in the middle of the verb, and it can also come at the end of the verb as well. For example, qara'a, here it is in the end, hamza. Akala, it is in the beginning, and sa'ala will be in the middle as well. What is the difference between hamza and alif?
Hamza is never dropped. We can sometimes drop alif, like fatahat at-talibatu. So we are dropping the alif at-talibatu.
Okay, excellent. But how would we recognize, like, what's the thumb rule to recognize that this is hamza and this is not? For example, here, if you see here akala and annas, okay, so here annas, this is alif or hamza?
Alif.
Alif. So what's the thumb rule? How would I know that this is alif and this is hamza?
It is hamza on top.
Okay, that's number one. Okay, if I say ma'kul, and if I say ma,
it will have a sakina. Alif doesn't take any haraka.
Alif is always empty. Alif is always empty. And if there is any vowel signs on it, then it changes into hamza. All right, so for example, at-tullabu, alif is empty. Dhahabu, alif is empty here. But whenever there is fatha or dhamma or kasra or sakin or tashdid, tanween or tashdid, there is no possibility of tashdid, I guess, tanween on it, then it will be read as hamza. But when it is empty, it will be alif. That's number one. Alif never comes in the beginning of the sentence or word or letter, yeah, or we can say verb or noun. It doesn't come in the beginning. It always comes in the middle or in the end. But the most important thing that we should know about alif, it will never ever be part of the root letters. Alif is never ever part of the root letters, never. So that's the most important thing that we need to remember. Two things about alif. Number one, it is always empty. And whenever we put any haraka on it, it becomes hamza. That's number one. Number two, it will never ever be part of the root letters. Please write it down. I will ask tomorrow, inshallah, about it. كون جملا مثل هذه. So now we have to form the sentences based like this. مستعملا by using الفعلين الواردين, using the following two verbs. في كل تمرين, in every exercise. ومستعينا, and by seeking help. بالكلمات, from the words التي بين القوسين, that are between the two brackets. So now we have to use these two verbs that we have into sentences, and we have to seek the help from the words that we have in the brackets. So in the brackets, we have at-tullabu and al-faslu, and we have two verbs and two nouns. So we have to make the sentences musta'inan, by seeking help, bil kalimati allati bil qawsaini, by the words that are into the brackets. So dakhala and
دخل
jalasa.
الطلاب
Okay.
وجلسوا
وجلسوا
في
الفصل.
الفصل or
Okay,
جلسوا
one more time, yes. Again, please.
دخل الطلاب وجلسوا في الفصل
Okay,
or
excellent.
جلس الفصل.
No, jalasu fil fasli will be the correct sentence, yes. So dakhalat tullabu, but if you say like this, the students entered the classroom and sat. So we will say dakhalat tullabu al fasla wa jalasu. If you remember, we discussed like after dakhala, there is no need to use any preposition. So we will say dakhalat tullabu, and we use directly the object al-fasla. Dakhalat tullabu al-fasla wa jalasu, and they sat. So the students entered the classroom and they sat. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay. Daraba qatala al-awladu al-hiyatu. Like the boys, they hit the snake and killed her. ضرب الأولاد.
ضرب الأولاد وقتلوا الحية.
Okay, but if you say قتلوا الحية, then grammatically it will be wrong. Because we said that when you want to use as a verb, you can only use the first form of the verb. You can say وقتل الحية, but the perfect sentence will be ضرب الأولاد الحية وقتلوها. ضرب الأولاد الحية. ضرب verb, الأولاد the subject, الحية the object, وقتلوها, and they killed it. So قتلوا refers to al-awladu, and ha refers to the snake. وقتلوها.
Can you please repeat this point? Why it can't be قتلوا الحية?
Because when you say, it's not possible to say قتلوا الحية, because if you want to use or you want to start a sentence, verbal sentence always starts with a verb which should be singular, the first form or the fourth form, if you remember.
And if you're saying al-awladu qatalu.
Al-awladu qatalu is okay because it's a nominal sentence.
Yes. So, but when we are saying ضرب al-awladu, so we can start. Can't we start from al-awladu qatalu al-hayyata? Just
that's
like
perfect. Yeah. If you say al-awladu, you have to say qatalu.
Yes. Just like in the previous sentence, if we say دخل الطلاب وجلسوا
Fil fasli.
في الفصل.
That should be okay.
So
When you say dakhala tullabu, so
okay,
dakhala is
in
the
the
verb.
okay.
Okay. At-tullabu is the doer, and jalasu refers to the students.
Yes.
So dakhala at-tullabu wa jalasu fil fasli is okay.
So just because there was no maf'ul bihi in the first example.
That's
Is
right.
that
If there
why?
is no, yeah. So because when it's very simple, for example, when you want to start a sentence, or when you are talking about the verbal sentence, then it should start with a singular verb when the doer is apparent. But when the doer is not apparent, then it's okay to say we can start with the first form or the second or the third or the fourth, then it is okay.
Okay.
For example, we say ذهب بلال إلى المسجد. And if we want to say they went to masjid, then we will say ذهبوا إلى المسجد. Then it's okay when you say ذهبوا إلى المسجد, because it doesn't have مفعول به. But when we have مفعول به, normally the مفعول به, then the subject is supposed to be there, and the subject, we know that the verb is supposed to be the first form or the fourth form. Did you get it? If not, you can repeat
Kinda.
your question and then we can reflect upon it. Like what did you want to say?
Please explain again.
Okay, so we will say darabal awladu. Daraba is the verb. Al awladu is the subject. And al hayyata is the object. So one part is complete. Darabal awladu al hayyata. And the second part, when you want to say they killed it, وَقَتَلُوهَا. Now, قَتَلُوا, when you say قَتَلُوهَا, it will refer to al-awladu. So we will say وَقَتَلُوهَا. ضَرَبَ الْأَوْلَادُ الْحِيَّةَ وَقَتَلُوهَا. So the kids or the boys, they killed the snake. They hit it and then they killed it. What is like not clear, or what is confusing?
When we are saying وَقَتَلُوهَا, so ha is again the maf'ul bih, right?
Yes, ha refers to the snake.
Yes. So
And
why can't we use al-hayya directly? If we can say وَقَتَلُوهَا, then why can't we say وَقَتَلُوا الْحَيَّةَ?
that's okay, but the reason why we use pronoun is we do not want to use noun again and again. For example, you say Bilal is my friend. Bilal lives in USA. Bilal studies in let's say
Okay, so
grade 10.
is it like since we are using daraba, um, uh, so that's why we need to use maf'ul bihi in the first part, uh,
As it is the receiver of the
as
action.
it is. Okay,
Yes.
so it's important to, I mean, it's necessary to use maf'ul bihi in the first part.
Otherwise, the listener, it will not be
It
clear to
doesn't make
him.
sense.
The
Okay.
listener wouldn't
Now,
understand and who is the receiver of the action.
okay, now it's clear.
If I
Alhamdulillah.
say fatahtuha, so what does that mean?
Yes.
What did you open? So it can be a window, it can be the car, it can be anything. So, but when you say I opened the window, I fatahtu nafidata. And if you want to say something again about it, then you will use the pronoun. So the reason why we use the pronoun is we don't want to use the noun again and again. We don't want to repeat it. That's the reason why pronouns are used.
Okay.
If you try to reflect the example, for example, if I say Bilal is my friend, and if I say Bilal studies in UK, I would rather say he studies in UK. He is a very hardworking student. He lives over there. So we will use the first time we use the noun, and then the second and the third and the fourth time, normally we use the pronoun so that we don't want to repeat it.
Okay, it's clear. Jazakallah khair.
Inshallah, hopefully, yes. If not, we can discuss in the group. Yes, number 3.
قرأ الطلاب الدرس وفهموه
Excellent.
وفهموها. No,
No.
who
Who?
فهموه.
Who? So who refers to the lesson?
Yes.
And
Okay.
fahimu refers to the students. So قرأ الطلاب الدرس وفهموه. And we will learn in the next lesson why it became mu. Why not fahima and meme? Because we know that the wow requires dhamma, so that's why it became fahimuhu. Who refers to the lesson? Okay, number 4.
سمع الناس الأذان وذهبوا إلى المسجد.
Excellent. Now we will say ذهبوا إلى المسجد. We cannot say ذهبوا, and because ذهب is a verb which does not need object, so that's why we will say إلى المسجد. There is no need to use any pronoun that refers back to something, to adhan. So there is no need to use what do we say, pronoun that refers to adhan. So سمع الناس الأذان وذهبوا إلى المسجد. Okay, now what you have to do in number 10, you have to كون جملا مستعملا الكلمات الآتية. You have to make the sentences from the following verbs. Do you know all these verbs? Akala, he ate. Okay, so we are saying he ate, but in the dictionary it will be used as to eat. So yeah, to eat. Akala, he ate, or to eat. Ghasala, to wash. Qara'a, to read. To write. To read. Kataba, to write. Daraba,
To hit.
to hit. Qatala,
To kill.
to kill. Dakhala,
To enter.
to enter. Kharaja,
To leave.
to leave. Hafidha. Now you can see here, this is where we have to memorize them, because there is no way that we will know that if the second root letter has fatha, dam, or kasra. We will come to know by learning, and whenever we have these new kind of patterns, we have to memorize them. So hafidha, he memorized. Okay.
Shariba, to drink.
Okay, to drink. Fahima,
To understand.
understand. And samia,
To listen.
to listen. Okay, so as we can see here, hafidha, shariba, fahima, and samia, the second root letter, which is ain, has kasra, whereas the rest of them, the second root letter has fatha. And they are mixed. Akala and qara'a, they are mahmuz, they have hamza in them, whereas the rest of them are without hamza. And we have talked about this, ta'ammal ma yali, we have to reflect upon the following. Man fataha al-baba, ana fatahtuhu. So fatahtu, subject, verb, and who is the object. Do you remember one thing about the attached pronouns? When we use attached pronoun in a verbal sentence, how do we use them? The attached pronoun in a verbal sentence are always used as subject or object? Always they are used as object. I sent you a document where it says when they come with a noun, they are come as mudaf ilayh. For example, kitabuhu, his book. When they come with a preposition, they come as majroor, for example, minhu. And when they come with a verb, they always come as mansub, they always come as object. So fatahtuhu, I opened it. So as you can see here, al-bab first, and then second time we are using the pronoun. Ana fatahtuhu, I opened it, and who refers to the door. And man fataha al-nawafidha, who opened the windows. Ana fatahtuha, I opened them. So fatahtu, fataha is the verb, tu is the file, the doer, and ha is the object, which refers to the windows. Ana fatahtuha, I opened them. Al-kalimatu al-jadidatu, the new words. Al-inabu, what's the inabu? Do you remember?
Grapes.
Grapes. Al-mawzu,
Banana.
bananas. Okay. At-tinu,
Fig.
Figs.
okay. Al-fajru,
Morning.
the dawn. Yes, dawn. Okay. Jawabun, answer, and the jam'a, the plural is ajwibatun. Su'alun, question, and the plural is as'ilatun. So ajwibatun and as'ilatun are on the pattern of af'ilatun. Al-baqalu, what's baqalu?
The shop.
Grocery.
The grocer. Yeah, al-asa,
The stick.
the stick. Okay, al-asa is always feminine in Arabic language. It is feminine, and why it's feminine? Because the Arabs said so. Al-asa is feminine in Arabic. وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى. So tilka is used for the stick. Al-asa in Arabic is always feminine. Hiyatun.
Bakal.
Sorry?
What is bakal? Bakal.
The grocer, the shopkeeper.
Okay.
Hiyatun, snake, and the plural is hiyatun, basically for the smaller snake, and the bigger one is a thoban. So hiyatun, why it's feminine?
Ending with the.
It's ending with ta marbuta. Okay. And then we have the verbs, samia, he listened, fahima, he understood, and shariba, he drank. So alhamdulillah, we have completed lesson number 5. Tomorrow, lesson number 6 is a very important lesson, which is about the use of the present tense. So inshallah, we will meet tomorrow. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.